here I am to make all your dreams come true. I'm Nick Shell. I am a fake hair loss expert. So I'm responding to a comment I got from a video I recently made called Hair Loss Support Community on Facebook. Try Max Da Silva Group. Zed Star had this to say, quote, "Hi Nick, my name is Saeed," like the character on Lost, one of the best shows ever, "and I'm 16, which means he's 20 years younger than me. I'm still 36. 1 week ago, I noticed that my hair was fading a bit in the middle. I'm Norwood 1. I become pretty sad and angry, but I wasn't shocked. All the men in my family are bald, so I always assumed that was the case, and that was the situation with me. Not, the men in my family aren't bald, but they're balding. And so I always assumed them for that. Okay. I was born with a strange-looking finger that I had to accept. I feel like becoming bald won't be as hard to accept than a very weird-looking finger. Life's hard and not fair. I have never asked my mother, why isn't my finger normal? Because I've accepted the life I was given. We shouldn't cry about things we can't change. We should be happy because that is what makes us special. I will never become normal and I've accepted it. Will you?" End quote. So I let my friend Saeed know that I'd be making a video to respond to this, and I'm keeping my promise. Here's the video. Here's the response, Saeed. But the thing is, Saeed, you've said it all. You've reinforced what I've always said on this channel. One of the things I love about what you said is that you've basically accepted the fact that certain things you can't change. What I always say is, focus on what you can control, not on what you can't. And it looks like our friend Saeed here has had an advantage. Yes, an advantage. And that he's been aware of two things for a long time. Whatever the situation is with his finger, it's not normal looking. So he's already had to realize he can't change that. He has to make that part of his identity. He knows that it won't necessarily always be well received by society. But ultimately, why would he give credibility to someone who would make fun of his finger that he didn't choose that? Why would you pay respect to people who would disrespect you for something you can't even help, right? And I think that's the main takeaway from Saeed's story here. Like my mom always said when I was a kid, if someone makes fun of you, Nick, consider the source. Why would you give them credibility if they're the kind of person who makes fun of you? Hurt people hurt people. Redeemed people heal people. I see myself as a redeemed person. I have overcome perceived problems. I feel redeemed. My role is to help heal other people, to serve other people. Saeed, at age 16, 20 years younger than me, gets it. What a hero, Saeed. I love you, man. You're awesome. And I thank you for sharing your story. I wanted to make this video so other people could hear it, because you have already accepted what happened being born with the finger that you have, realizing that why would you take stock in other people making fun of you for that? You've made that your identity, and you already knew that you were going to go bald. So even at age 16, you're seeing signs of your hairline changing sooner than maybe a lot of other guys would. But you're already coming to terms with that, just like I did. It's miraculous that I have this much hair. It really is. Because my whole life, especially around age 16, I started, okay, well, here's all the men on my dad's side of the family, and they're balding, even though they're not bald. On my mom's side of the family, not so much, not really at all. But I just always assumed, worst case scenario, I won't be completely bald, but by the time I'm in my 30s, I'll be noticeably balding. So it's amazing to me that I'm not. It truly is amazing to me that I'm almost 37 now and still have this much hair. But see, that was good for me, because for decades of my life, I prepared for something that never happened. Tom Petty has a song where he says that line. He says, most of the problems we worry about never happen anyway. Bruce Springsteen has a song where he talks about, don't worry, darling, we're living in the future and none of this has happened yet. I think that's a very clever line. We're already living in the future. I'm living in the future, and this thing that I was worrying about didn't even happen. Now that's not to say it's not going to happen for many of you. Many of you truly will lose your hair. You truly will be bald by 25. Okay? But here's the important takeaway. Prepare for it mentally. You can't control whether or not you're going to go bald. You can't control whether or not your finger looks normal or not. What you can control is how you deal with it. Here's the closing thought. Yesterday evening, I was outside taking my son. We're playing outside. He's 7 years old. And he asked me this question, Daddy, Can some people not have any feelings? He asked the right person, because I'm Nick Shell, and I say you completely decide whether other people control your emotions or not. And what I said to him is, I said, you know what, most people allow their feelings to control them instead of choosing to control their own feelings. And his response, oh, he learned from that at age 7. I'm nearly 30 years older than him. He understands that now. He on his own asked me that. It's that simple. Saeed gets it. Saeed understands how simple this is. And I have so much respect for you as a 16-year-old boy, 20 years you're elder, you get it. So many people watching this channel need to process this story that you've shared today. Let's go ahead and prepare to go bald. Maybe you'll luck out like me and not go bald, but even now, I'm doing the zero guard anyway. I don't need hair. I don't need hair. It's not important to me. And I guess in some ways it never really was, because I always assumed that I'd go bald anyway. I think that's a good, healthy place to be. And I think it's also, if your hair loss is bothering you, receding hairline is bothering you, that's why I always say, buzz it off. I personally endorse number 0 guard buzz cut, but at least do number 1 or 2, because it helps you face your fears. I think that's another thing too. It's important to face our fears, our insecurities. Let's face them head on. And let's realize what we can control, let's control. What we can't, let's not. Let's also realize that however other people may tease you about your hairline or whatever body part it is that's not normal. I mean, have you ever really looked at my nose? My nose is it's like an Owen Wilson nose. Like, it's not straight. It is so crooked. And look, here's the middle of my teeth, and then here's my nose. It's just like, it's so asymmetrical. Do you think I care about that? No. I was in high school, age 14, that's when I noticed, okay, I've got a really crooked, asymmetrical nose. To my knowledge, I've never had a broken nose, but that's just who I am. So I've adopted these things as part of my identity. I've moved on. Saeed, you are a hero in my book. I love you, Saeed.